Okay, so the wife said the car would not start this morning. The car still has at least some power. As you can see, the light is on. Let's go ahead here and see what happens if we try to start it. There you go. Nice.
Hey, what's guys, welcome back to the channel. On today's episode, we're going to talk about something you absolutely need, especially since it's starting to get a little bit cold. Some parts of the country is probably already snowing or something like that, but everybody knows as it gets colder, it takes more cranking amps to get your engine started. So you absolutely need this unless you have an electric vehicle. But we're going to be talking about this portable jump starter battery booster, whatever it is you want to call it. Even though it's not perfect, I do think you still need it. So if you want to know more about this, stick with us. So this right here is a 20 volt max DXAE20VBB. If you know what that means, or we're trying to decipher that means 20 volt battery booster. That's pretty much what that means, okay? So before we dig into this, I want us to take a look at the box, okay? So on this box, it literally says 3-in-1 portable power, then it says cordless jump starter, then it says cordless battery charger, then it has 2.1 amp USB ports. So it's kind of having an identity crisis here. It's either portable power, I mean technically it is, but jump starter or cordless battery charger is kind of saying it's all of that stuff, but we're going to talk about how it's having an identity situation here. But it's rated for 800 cold cranking amps, that's what CCA stands for, 2.1 amp USB, 3 times smaller, and it's compatible with all 20 volt max lithium-ion batteries, the DeWalt ones, which are obviously not included with this because I purchased this with my own money. It's not sponsored, nobody sent this to us, and I already have a bunch of DeWalt batteries, so I don't need to purchase it as a kit. But if you did buy it as a kit, this would end with a K right here saying you got it as a kit, okay? So also going on with this is that it starts up to V8s charged with any 20 volt max lithium ion battery, which is obviously not included with this, okay? So I know this is question gonna come up, so let's talk about this. You cannot use the DeWalt 12 volt batteries. You can use the DeWalt 20 volt max batteries, and you can use the Flexvolt batteries, okay? Because Flexvolt is compatible to 20 volt max tools, but you cannot use the DeWalt 40 volt batteries, okay? Yes, some people may be asking, what is the 40 volt batteries? It's a lawn care battery system they used to have, but they discontinued that, okay? On this side, it tells you pretty much the two stations or how to quickly get started. You press it once, it starts flashing green, it starts charging the battery. When it turns solid green, it's ready to start the vehicle, okay? That's all that you really need to know about this. The other part I want us to take a look at here was this, okay? So on the back side here, it says input, obviously 20 volts, right? The output, it steps the voltage down to 14.5 volts at 20 amps max. The USB output is 5 volts, 2.1 amp max. The thing I wanted to point out here is that this is a tool, has a 1-year warranty, and everybody's going to be wondering, what happened to the standard DeWalt 3-year warranty? So I'm not sure if this is exactly what's going on, but what I assume is happening is this is not engineered and manufactured by DeWalt. This is actually manufactured by some other brand, and that's kind of what the paperwork alludes to inside. So because it's not that, I think they're only offering a 1-year tool warranty on this. So that's what's really going on. So it's not your standard, genuine DeWalt stuff, even though it is a DeWalt branded item, okay? And as most name branded mainstream stuff here in the US, this is UL listed, okay? On the other side here, it tells you pretty much how to use the USB ports. You just plug it in, press the button. All right, so let's start looking at the front part of the tool, okay? So somebody tell me what's wrong with this, okay? The first thing that's wrong with this is look at this 20 volt max sticker they have going in on here. And it is a sticker because it is raised, okay? So the sticker itself looks pretty decent quality, right? It's a pretty raised sticker. But the issue is that it's crooked. Okay, so whoever put the sticker on here decided to put it on crooked, and that's not what you would, expect from a mainstream name branded tool. Okay, that's just some cosmetic issue. But anyways, let's talk about what's going on in the front. It's got another sticker here. This stuff is not like stamped into the tool like this is, right? This DeWalt is part of probably the injection molding process or something, but these two things here are stickers. It's got two USB ports here. It's got the LED button here. So if you look here, there's no LED light on. If I press it, LED light is on. Press it again, LED light's off. It's only got one mode. There's no like low, high, strobing or any of that. If you press this button, it starts the battery charging. Right now there's nothing connected, so it's not going to do that. Press this button once and the USB ports will become active, okay? All right, so moving around to the left here, all right? So this right here is where the positive clamp is. It says positive right here, just POS, has a plus button. And this is pretty much the quality of this clamp. And if you look here closely at it, these teeth here are seam copper, or at least copper cladded at least. It's kind of riveted in here, right? With this teeth, so I don't think this is going to be going anywhere. The cable in here, if you look at the cable, it looks like some copper strands, right? I'm not sure if you can see it, but this cable is stiff. There's no way this is like pure oxygen-free copper or anything like that. If you look at it closely, it says it's 12 gauge by 2C, 300 volts up to 105 degrees. It's VW-1 rated, okay? So the point I'm trying to make with this cable is that it's not a high quality, thick cable. Like, it's pretty stiff, right? So just look at it like this. It'll, in a way, if I bend it certain way enough, it kind of looks like it'll hold itself up. Even though it doesn't, but it feels like it would. That's just how stiff it is. So this cable kind of reminds me of like aluminum cable, right? And don't get me wrong, it's not like you would expect top of the line material on all of this stuff here, but I feel like they could have probably just used a little bit better cable to just get a better job there done, okay? So I wanted to show you the back here. If you look right here, you don't just put it in here, right? You actually clamp it to this little yellow piece right here, right? So here we go, clamp that. That's how that works. Let me go ahead and remove this battery for you. This is the same battery you saw we started it up with. So if you look here on the back side, you got two LEDs here. It tells you, all the sticker, DeWalt, caution, precaution, warning, all the labels that going on here. It's got these two, what do you call this, copper terminals, and these two silver, probably nickel plated terminals if I had to guess. And on this back side, you see on this side, the other side, it says this is the negative clamp, okay? It says negative right there. And the way that it works is that this cable is supposed to wrap around this little piece they got going in on here. And I would assume if you use this like every day, I bet you nobody probably would, this cable would eventually probably break off just because how stiff it is, right? It's not like soft or smooth or anything like that. Don't get me wrong, it's malleable by any means, but it's just not a very flexible, easily moving cable, okay? So that's what's really going on there. So that's what you get. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about this card they put on here, which is a reference chart on how to get started. If you look at it, if you press this button once and the status is flashing green, the unit is boosting. When it's solid green, attempt to start the vehicle. When it's solid red, the DeWalt battery needs charging. When it's flashing red, it means you are colorblind and you connected the red to the negative of the vehicle and the negative to the positive of the vehicle, which means you just have it reversed. Amber means power to USB ports. That's all that really means here, okay? And this right here tells you during boost mode, one touch boost button will light solid red if your DeWalt battery needs charging. That's pretty much all it says on this card, but it is convenient they gave you this like card to put on here. What would be nice if they somehow put this table somewhere on here that you could, permanently, not like a business card or something like that, but it would be nice to have it somewhere on there. All right, so now let me tell you what's really wrong with the system, or I really don't like about the system. First of all, what I don't like is the lights. Yes, I do like that they have LED lights on here, but what I don't like about the lights is it's pretty much very weak. It's only got this one mode, right? It's either on or off. Here, you look at it here, it's on or off. It's got like pretty much 4 diodes that pretty much shine direct. It's not like a nicely diffused system. And even if you use a 5 amp hour battery here, which is smaller, it's just in the way, right? So what would be nice is instead of having 4 diodes, they had a bar that pretty much went entirely around the system, because sometimes you put it down on a vehicle, right, and the cable is not super long, so you have to put it somewhere like flat, right? And because of the battery, it's kind of gonna like tilt backwards. So sometimes you just can't point the light to where you need it to be while you're using it. Sure, you can hold it and do this, right? But it would be much better if they just had like a omnidirectional light, the entire light bar, or at least the front and the back, right? At least give us front and the back. That's just wide, like a floodlight. So that's probably the first issue I have with this. The biggest issue I have with this is this boost setup they got going on here, okay? So my issue with this boost setup is that when you first turn it on, it does the positive, negative check, like you connected the polarity properly, which is good, right? Don't get me wrong, that's good. But the bad part is it requires a minimum voltage to get started. And this is not the only one on the market that requires a minimum voltage to get started. I don't know what that minimum voltage is, but I think it's somewhere between like 9, 10 volts or something like that. So if your battery is super, super, super low, like your light or whatever in the car may come on, but if it's so low, below, I don't know, let's just say like 5 volts, 6 volts, or 8, whatever, you're not going to be able to use this system because it doesn't meet that minimum voltage requirement in order for it to kick on. So I've seen other battery booster systems that people can trick it to have a minimum voltage by shorting the two out with the 9 volt, what do you call it, a 9 volt square battery, right? But if you're using this, you're most likely going to be in a situation you just need to get going. You're just not going to have a 9 volt battery around, right? What are you going to do? Go walk to the store, get a 9 volt battery, fake this and make it keep going? No, that's not realistic, right? So it's good in case of you have a vehicle that it's just a weak battery, like you can kind of tell it's just trying to start, just not able to get it to start. It'll probably work. But if your battery is so low, you're not going to be able to use it. That's my real issue with this system. What would be nice is if they had somehow lowered the minimum voltage requirements to be, I don't know, like 5 volts, 3 volts or something like that, right? Because the battery will get low enough that you can use it. But all right, you guys, so what can we say about this tool? First of all, I will say I am really glad that DeWalt makes this tool. Well, take that back. DeWalt doesn't make the tool, but they somehow branded DeWalt to this tool and then, you know, makes it work on their platform, let's just say. Okay, so that's nice. I believe they are one out of 2 tool manufacturers that do that. So with that being said, there are improvements that, you know, they could make the lights, you know, the minimum startup voltage and stuff like that, and maybe give people some USB-C ports. Maybe, you know, what kind of age are we in where we're still using dinosaur ports? So, you know, that's nice that they could make improvements and release a later version if there is, you know, good enough demand for it, I guess. So would I go out and buy this tool again? Let's talk about that. So yes, I did buy this tool with our own monies, and yes, I'll definitely go buy it again. Mainly because, first of all, the tool only is about $99. If you buy it as a kit with the 5 amp hour battery and a charger, it costs I think $79 or $199 or something like that. Depending on where you get it from, it's between 80 to 100 bucks more as a kit. Okay, so if you're already in the DeWalt lineup, it's a no-brainer that you just buy the tool only for 99 bucks, right? So that's a really great deal because I did that and it has already saved us 3 times this week alone, okay? Just in a pinch, you just need it, bam, get it going. Instead of, you know, finding jumper cables or pulling jumper cables out, untangling them, or finding somebody to jump you, and then you're gonna have to either move the car to a position where it can get jumped. You don't need to do any of that. You just pull this out, bam, connect it, get it started, go. That's all you really need to do. Maybe you delayed yourself like 5 minutes or something, right? So instead of like an hour endeavor, 30-minute endeavor, right? So that's nice. So I'll definitely go out and buy this again. I would like to see them make some improvements, but like I said, they're one of 2. So let's talk about this. So I believe Ryobi is actually the other one that I saw that does make a tool, something like this, kind of like a jump starter type kit. I didn't purchase that for 2 reasons. One, I have a lot of DeWalt batteries. I definitely do not have a lot of Ryobi batteries. I do have some, but not a lot. And 2, the Ryobi one actually costs more than the DeWalt one. Even as a tool only, the Ryobi one, I think it was like $169 or something like that, which is like $70 more than this one, right, as a tool only. So I'm just like, okay, well, I'm just gonna go ahead and pick up the DeWalt one. So I'll definitely go buy this again. If you're only in the Ryobi lineup, it may make sense for you to get that too, right? So I don't know if the Ryobi one works exactly the same way, but I would imagine, you know, it's gonna get the job done somehow, okay? So the car that you saw us start in the beginning of the video was a 2011 Mazda I think it has a 3.7 liter V6. Someone may or may not correct me on that, but you know, it's recently cold. It's been below freezing, and 3 times this week we had to pull this out and just use it. And the first time we did it, bam, I'd say, wow, that was a really lifesaver, mainly because, you know, we got to take the kids to school, and that car was actually blocking my car from coming out, so I couldn't even jump that car even if I wanted to, and it's on a hill, so that's even more annoying because, you know, it's not like I'm going to be able to push it up the hill, right? So just in that one time alone, I feel like just able to get the kids to school on time, and also the dentist appointment, was just a lifesaver for this. It's $100, definitely worth getting. I would highly recommend buying this tool. And no, DeWalt or nobody is sponsoring us to say that with this tool, okay? So hopefully it's helped you guys out. If you have any questions, let us know. Otherwise, have a great day, and we'll see you guys next time. All right, this time it's happening again. But actually, when there's daylight out, so let's try this again. There we go. All right, looks she stopped blinking, so it's a solid green now. Let's go see if we can give it a go. I know. Nice.